Wisdom. It's an incredibly valuable asset. Some would say more precious than gold. It's attractive, appealing, admirable. Conversely, a lack of wisdom is the basis of immaturity, blind spots, and bad decisions. Wisdom. It can be gained over time, but it can't be rushed. But wisdom can be shared. That's precisely what we are here to do right now. Today, we are here to hack wisdom, to distill it, to understand it, and to process it. Why? To get better at life. Welcome to The Main Thing. This is your new 9-minute podcast. I'm your host, Skip Linneberg, and I've set out to interview the wisest people I know. We'll see what we can learn from each one when they're faced with an incredibly difficult, soul-piercing question. Welcome back to The Main Thing podcast. I'm your host, Skip Linneberg, coming to you again from Parkwood Studios. As always, I'm here to bring you another 9-minute dose of wisdom. A hearty welcome back to all of our subscribers. It's great to have you back again. Here's an extra special warm welcome to our newest patron, William. William, thank you so much. Right now, before you hear from today's guest, I want to plant a seed in your mind. Who will you share this podcast with today? Who needs a lift, a fresh perspective, encouragement, or perhaps a friendly nudge to help them get unstuck? Rajesh Setty is an author, founder, serial entrepreneur, and super connector. Rajesh is often referred to as the Silicon Valley's secret spark plug for startups, scale-ups, and shake-ups. Being a polymath, Rajesh is constantly in the middle of running experiments across a variety of seemingly unrelated areas of interest, but always with the common goal of how to create a better world through the projects he incubates as one of the founders or participates in some meaningful capacity to help the founders. One of Rajesh's passions is to hunt for wisdom, curate, package, amplify, and expand its reach far and wide. And that aligns so perfectly with this show. One of the startups Rajesh founded as a co-founder was called Audvisor, and it's designed to do exactly that. Through Audvisor, he brings over 125 world-class experts to share actionable knowledge in the form of micro-podcasts to be delivered via an app so even busy people can grow wherever they go. Check out our show notes for links to discover more about Audvisor and Rajesh Setty's work. Rajesh joins us today from Sunnyvale, California, in the heart of Silicon Valley. Buckle up over the next 9 minutes. You'll get a whirlwind of wisdom from this dynamic, incredibly generous, and wise guest. Rajesh Setty, welcome to the Main Thing podcast. Thank you for coming on the show with us.
I'm glad to be here, Skip. I'm looking forward to this. I've been waiting for this for the last few days.
I'm excited as well. We both love to find and explore wisdom.
I'm always on the quest for wisdom. But if I just hunt for wisdom, I feel that I'm a little bit greedy. So now what I said, what if I package that wisdom, curate it, and then make it easily digestible and start exporting and just making it reach lots of people. So I'm always on the hunt for who has wisdom. How can I extract it and not be greedy, and then take it, curate it, package it, and transport it?
Yes.
So with that quest, my friend Judy Robinette, she introduced me to two of her friends who are also your friends, Pat Headley and Vanessa Liu.
Yes.
And both of them said, oh, you've got to talk to Skip. He's also on the similar quest. He has this thing called The Main Thing. So the moment they said it, both of them offered to introduce me, I already pre-liked you because I know what I was getting. So again, I'm always looking for, I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to be greedy. How do I get your wisdom and then package, curate, and export and transport it? That's how I met you.
Folks will recognize the name Judy Robinette from episode 9, Pat Headley and Vanessa Liu, also from seasons 1 and 2, and just tremendous guests. All three of their shows are among the most popular, most downloaded episodes of this podcast. So you come highly recommended. I can't wait to get to the pivotal moment, Rajesh, when I ask you the main question that I ask each of my wise guests. Rajesh Setty, what's the main thing you've learned in your lifetime so far?
That's a brilliant question. And because I listened to some of your podcast interviews, I was prepared for it. So it's a brilliant question, but it's not a surprising question coming on this show. So here is my thing. It's a three-part answer.
Okay.
And each one will link to each other.
Beautiful.
The first step is to remember that you should design your life in such a way that you get push button access to high quality help wherever you are, whenever you want, as you pursue projects that will make this world a better place. That's the first part of the answer.
Okay.
Now, immediately people will say, how do I do it? For that, you need to develop a skill or an ability. What is that ability? It's the ability to give meaningful help to anyone and everyone at scale at a very low incremental cost to you.
Wow.
What happens if you do that? If you do that, you become like the Santa Claus. What you do is you show people new worlds where new possibilities exist. So good that people will want to say, hey, how can I help you back? You don't need that kind of help now, but you keep it for use like an obligation. You collect obligations for later. Even if 80% of the people do not come through, the 20% will act as the reservoir of reciprocation. So you can access that high quality help at the push of a button.
Wow.
And I can tell the third part, and that will complete.
Yes, please.
Third part is you don't wait for it. Use every single opportunity, every single meeting to be fully present and try to be a present, bring a present to them at every meeting. And you take it to a whole new level when you use the words we talked about, ichigo ichi, and this is the context, that you give the respect and reverence for every interaction so that they get a better return on your interaction, not for your investment, but they are putting return on investment for an interaction is what we have to aim for.
Right. That's a beautiful way to live. It's very unique. In getting to know you and listening to some of your content, reading some of your work, I've begun to develop an appreciation for that. But your main thing is to seek help, to be a provider of help in a generous fashion at scale, and then to be fully present and in those interactions to be a present, a gift to the other person.
Correct.
That's just brimming with generosity and kindness. And I absolutely admire and I treasure that. I really do.
So, Skip, here there are so many, because we are all both are lovers of words. So I chose every single word very carefully. I said meaningful help. So when you want to provide meaningful help, how can you provide meaningful help if you don't listen to them, listen to the other person? So you have to be a really good listener to be able to provide meaningful help.
Yes. You exude kindness and generosity. And I wondered if you would share with us how you became that way. And before you answer, one recent program I listened to, you were described as living a life of radical giving without any expectation. I'd love for you to explain that philosophy to us. And again, how did you come to be this way? Was it the influence of a parent or a grandparent or someone else in your life?
So I'm always thinking I'm a work in progress, which means I do my work, I leave the progress to God. And I never think that I did something, because it will be, that is the day I think I did it is the day my downfall will begin. Because it's impossible. People say it's work is worship.
Mm-hmm.
Then what would you do in a temple? You have respect and thank God for giving the opportunity and only ask for His blessing to bring 110% of who I am into the conversation.
Yes.
When you do that, you're automatically in a mode that you want to make the most, you want to give the most possible. So that's how I think about it.
Rajesh, that's exactly how I prayed this morning for me coming to this meeting today. It's almost verbatim how I prayed.
I'm a recipient of so many gifts that even if I keep giving until my last breath, I would still be indebted with the karma account will be so full that I would not, like, what else can I give? And I'll bring the practical side of it. If you start giving today and then in a meaningful way, tomorrow morning nothing will happen, but it requires some accumulation.
Yes.
So, but over the next few years, there is a compounding effect that will happen.
Certainly.
All of a sudden, the person who was not giving, he does not see any difference from you giving because nothing major has happened. In 3 years, the person who was not giving is not even comparable because the person who is giving is getting compounding returns.
Certainly. That's a very compelling business case.
Yes.
For radical giving without any expectation.
In fact, whenever people say it, I always think, but the act of giving, you are already getting.
You know, Rajesh, our first conversation, I told my wife after I met you that there are people who have helped me. I'm going to use the metaphor of the Chinese proverb that you'll recognize here in a minute, but there are people that help me by, when I'm hungry, they give me a fish, and I eat one meal, and I'm not hungry anymore, which is good. There's value there. But I said to her, he was so helpful that he taught me how to fish.
Oh, beautiful.
You give a man a fish, he eats for a meal or he eats for a day. You teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. And I think that's how my first interaction was with you, that you didn't give me a fish, you taught me how to fish. And I think that was just such a huge impact.
That is very kind of you. You made my day. I say that I have a simple policy that I call it "This made my day," TMMD, and my goal is to get to that point with the shortest amount of time from the time I wake up to first time I'll say, "This made my day." Anything else good that happens is a bonus.
Yes. Rajesh, I would love to talk for 2 more hours, but I do a short format show. You and I have both recognized the importance of delivering content that our busy listeners have time to consume in one sitting. So we'll have to wrap it up, but I can't thank you enough for coming on today to share your wisdom about meaningful help and so many other wonderful philosophies and insights that you've shared today.
I'm so happy, and thank you for your time. And I had a really good time having this conversation.
Wonderful. And I won't say goodbye because I know you and I are going to continue to collaborate. We're going to continue to do great things together. So instead, I'll say so long for now.
Same here. It's to be continued.
Yes. Wow, 9 minutes is up. That goes by incredibly fast, doesn't it? Time flies when you're hacking wisdom. I hope you're left wanting more. Sync up with us again next time on The Main Thing for 9 more minutes of wisdom. Hi, it's Skip here. You've heard about our merchandise store for The Main Thing podcast, and I want to tell you about our bookshop. It's an online independent bookstore where you can find and order the books that were written, recommended, and discussed by guests of The Main Thing podcast. Just check the show notes for a link that'll take you to bookshop.org/shop/The Main Thing. Buy some books, support independent local booksellers, and support the guests of The Main Thing podcast.